Unit 9, Coordination and Response, the second part on eyes. This will be the video part 1 on the structures of eyes. Before you get into the lessons, let's get some of the games to get your eyes tested. What do you see in this picture? Do you see Albert Einstein or do you see Marilyn Monroe? If you see Einstein, then step back away to see whether Marilyn Monroe appeared. How about this on the Ishara plate? Can you see the number on the first one? Can you see the number 12 on the first diagram? Let's check the second one. How about the second picture? Can you see the number 42 on the second diagram? This is actually a test for the color blindness. What is a color blindness? It means that you have the trouble seeing the red, green or blue or a mix of these colors. Color vision problems are usually inherent, and the problem because people can't see or have the usually people have the three types of the cone cells in the eyes. When you have color blindness, you don't have one of the cone cells or you don't have some of them working right. So you may not be able to see one of these basic colors, the red, the green or the blue. On the first part of the eye, we will look into some of the main functions of the parts of the eye. First, what are sense organs? Sense organ refers to the receptor that receives the stimuli from the environment. These organs are highly specialized structures. For example, eye for sight. We will look into the structure of the eye from the front view before we move to the side view or the internal structure. First part of the eye, the cornea. The cornea refers to the dome-shaped transparent layer that is able to refract the light rays into the eye. Conjunctiva is a mucous membrane covering the sclera. It helps to secrete the mucus to keep the front of the eyeball moist. The conjunctiva is the layer of the white layer we can see from here. The iris here, the central parts of the eye, colored orange here, is referred to the circular sheets of the muscles, which have two sets of muscles, the circular and the radial muscles. It also contains a pigment that gives the eyes the color, what we usually see, sometimes the blue, green, or within us, usually the dark brown colors. Pupil is a hole in the center of the iris, which allows the lights to enter the eye. Eyelids help to protect the cornea from the mechanical damage. Eyelash help to shield the eye from the dust particles. The tear glands is more for protection functions to help to wash away the dust particles to keep the cornea moist for the atmosphere and to lubricate the conjunctiva. Let's look at the internal structure of the eye now. Starting from the outer layer, we will see that the wall of the eyeballs is made out of the three layers. First one, the sclerotic coat, or we call the sclera, is the outermost layer. Choroid, the middle layer. Retina is the innermost layer. Retina consists of the photoreceptors. Photoreceptors are connected to the nerve ending from the optic nerve. The sclera is the first layer, the most outermost layer. It is made of a tough white outer covering of the eyeball. And the eye muscles attached to the layer facilitates the movement of the eyeball. Choroid, the second layer here, shown in blue, is a black pigment middle layer which prevents the internal reflections of light. It also has the blood vessels that carry the oxygens and the nutrients to the eyeball and remove the waste product from the eyeball. Retina, as we mentioned before, is the innermost layer, the light blue layer shown here, which has the photoreceptor, or we call the rods and the cones. It also connects to the nerve fibers from the optic nerve. What is the meaning of photoreceptor? Photoreceptor consists of two types of the rods here and the cones. The cones refer to the three types of cones, the red, blue, and the green. Each one contains the different pigment to absorb the light of different wavelengths. It helps us to see a variety of the colors in bright light. Whereas the rods are stimulated in very dim light to help us to see in dim conditions. It contains of the pigment called the visual purple. However, the visual purple, when exposed to the bright light, the impulse cannot be sent to the brain. Some other important part of the internal structure of the eye, for example, the yellow spot, or we call the fovea, it refers to the spot here we've seen. It's a small yellow depressions where the image are focused. It has the cones but not the rods to help the person to have a detailed color vision in bright light. The blind spot refers to the region where the optic nerve will leave the eyes. It does not contain any of the photoreceptors, so they are not sensitive to light. Any of the light rays shown here cannot be seen or cannot form the image on the eye. Optic nerve is where they transmit the impulse to the brain when the photoreceptors are stimulated. The lens, a transparent, circular, and a biconvex structures. Its shapes can change in order to reflect the light onto the retina. The ciliary body has the muscles that control the curvations and the thickness of the lens. Suspensory ligaments help to attach the edge of the lens to the ciliary body. The chamber is the space between the lens and the cornea. It fills with the aqueous humor, a transparent watery fluids, to help to keep the front of the eyeball firm and reflect the light into the pupil. The vitreous chamber is a space behind the lens that helps to keep the eyeball firm and reflects the light onto the retina. Let's have some self-check before we end the first part of the video. Which structure helps to reflects the light into the pupil? The cornea. Which structure protects the eyeball against the mechanical injury? The sclera. Which structure prevents the internal reflections of the light within the eye? The second layer of the wall of the eyeball, the choroid. Which structure controls the curvations and the thickness of the eyes? The ciliary muscles. Which structure controls the size of the pupil? Iris. Which one focuses the light onto the retina? The lens. Which is the light sensitive layer where the image are formed? Retina. Most of the light is focused here where the vision is sharpest. There are two spots on the layer of the eye, the fovea and the blind spot. Fovea is where the light is focused, and the blind spot is where the optic nerve leaves the eyes, and hence no image can be formed on this spot. Let's end with another interesting picture. Can you find the hidden animals, man and a woman face? The second part of our video will be focusing more on how does the iris actually control the amount of the light entering the eyes. Can you find the hidden animals, the man's and the woman's face? Thank you for watching the part 1 of the video.